dear viewers, thank you for joining us. The assassination attempt on Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian during the war with Iran, the complexities of the ceasefire negotiations in the Gaza Strip, the captive exchange, and the ongoing assaults on Lebanon were among the main topics highlighted in the Hebrew meeting. We discussed them today with Mr. Ridwan, who's a political analyst, joining us here in the studio. Hello and welcome, Mr. Ridwan.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Iranian threat to respond to the assassination attempt targeting President Masoud Pezeshkian by the Israeli occupation during the war with Iran was a major focus of the Hebrew media, which warned the need to be cautious about Tehran following through on its threats.
התקשורת האיראנית טוענת שהנשיא נפצע ברגלו במהלך ניסיון חיסול של ישראל במלחמה בחודש שעבר. מועברדי, אנחנו עליך בעניין הזה. בטהרן, בהקשר הזה, משגרים איום לעבר ישראל.
נכון, איום שאומר בעצם טהרן לא תשב בשקט, ישראל תשלם על כך. מה הסיפור? אנחנו שמענו את פזשקיאן כבר בשבוע שעבר מדבר על כך. דיווח הלילה בסוכנות פרס אומר דבר כזה, שבעצם ישראל ב-16 ביוני, 3 ימים אחרי תחילת המלחמה באיראן, יום שני, תוקפת מתקן שבו מתכנסת המועצה לביטחון לאומי עליונה של איראן, ואז מתבצעת תקיפה. עכשיו, התקיפה הזאת מתבצעת על ידי חיל האוויר, שהפצצות פוגעות בפתחים, בכניסות ובפתחי האוורור של המקום, בשביל להשיג אפקט כמו שהיה עם נסראללה, שלמעשה נקבר ומת מחנק מתחת להריסות, וככה לקבור את מי שנמצא שם, ובסופו של דבר התקיפה לא בדיוק מצליחה ב100%, והבכירים, ביניהם פזשקיאן, יוצאים החוצה דרך אחת מפתחי העמילות, פתחי החירום, וחלקם נפצעים ברגל, כולל פזשקיאן. עכשיו, הסיפור הוא שאם זה נכון, ישראל בעצם ניסתה לחסל את כל הצמרת האיראנית. מי שנמצא שם, פזשקיאן הוא כמעט נזק אגבי למה שקורה שם. זאת אומרת, נמצאים שם המועצה לביטחון לאומי העליונה של איראן, נמצאים שם שרי ממשלה, נמצאים שם בכירי המטכ"ל האיראנית, נמצא שם מוחמד בכר קליבאף, שהוא יושב ראש המג'ליס, אבל הוא זה שמנהל את העניינים בזמן המלחמה. ישראל, לפי הדיווח הזה, ניסתה פשוט להוריד את כל הצמרת, כנראה בגלל, לא יודע אם הגיע מודיעין מאוחר מדי או מה, אבל בסופו של דבר זה מתבצע רק חלקית ולא מחסל אותם, וכאמור בטהרן מגיבים הערב לאל-ג'זירה ואומרים לא נעבור בשקט, ישראל תשלם על כך מחיר, זו התגובה הרגילה שלהם, במקרים כאלה תמיד כדאי כאמור להיות זהירים.
Well, Mr. Ridwan, does this reveal that Israel was trying to actually apply a regime change in Iran?
It seems that the Israeli plan was trying to eliminate all the leadership by attacking the Supreme National Security building with the same attempt that's happened or killed Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah. So fortunately the attack was unsuccessful and the whole leadership managed to go out or to escape through a tunnel or a secret exit, which is, you know...
And they said that it was similar to that of Hezbollah Secretary General, great martyr Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah.
Yes, what's the plan or the attack was, targeted especially the building and the ventilation system. So
but they managed to escape.
The people who could trap under the rebels inside that building could die out of suffocations.
Okay.
So fortunately, this attempt was, failed, totally failed. No one was killed in that attempt. But that, provoked the questions about... the Israelis have crossed all the red lines, because not in a war that the minister or the president of a country could be a direct target to the enemies. So that means the Israelis are trying to end the war quickly and so fast, by killing the whole leader, people in the leaders of Iran, including the president and all his assistants and ministers. So this way they were hoping that they will bring down the whole regime, which is, didn't work at all, and that fired back on the
But Israelis. What are they still depending on, Mr. Ridwan? They tried to actually, this is not the first time, there are several attempts to cause a regime change inside Iran. But all these attempts fail. Unlike what they want, we see a complete unity behind the leadership.
Well, upon all reports came out from Iran and political analysts, especially Westerners, agreed on that the national war was declared on Iran by the Israelis, united the whole people of Iran, the Iranian people, including the conservatives and the moderates and the oppositions, if there is any. So it united the whole Iranian people behind the regime, behind the government, because they have considered that the existence of Iran as a nation was threatened by the attack of the Israelis.
So therefore they all backed the leadership.
Of course.
But then the Israelis are unable to understand this.
The Israelis don't want to understand this because they were hoping that the
opposition.
They were hoping that they had many Mossad cells inside Iran.
But most of them were uncovered also.
But we must admit that at the first hours of the war, they were successful in launching many drones, and the plan was to attack directly on the ground by 400 or 500 fighters to attack the
Should Israel anticipate a response from Iran, in your opinion? And if so, what kind of response do you expect of it?
I think that the next round of war with Iran will have no limits whatsoever, because every single minister and responsible or person in Israel will be a direct target to the Iranian missiles.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of response do you imagine it to be?
I think that's total destructions of maybe the Knesset or the ministries, buildings, and top officials of the army. That will be a direct target, because Iran tried to avoid any kind of attacking buildings inside cities, or because that might have or conclude in civilians' injuries or casualties.
Okay, where would this incident keep Trump, the Americans that were the mediators to stop this war between the two countries?
Well, Trump was not a mediator. Trump
presented himself as well.
But I think that Trump responded to the begging of Israel to go on a ceasefire as quick as they can.
And he was very annoyed with them not abiding by his own instructions. How would he react now?
Now I think that Trump must reconsider his position if he wants to keep the, let's say, the benefits of America inside the Middle East. Mm-hmm. Must reconsider his position and must be, present himself as a fair mediator. Understand that's the benefits of Iran also, and not only looking at the Israeli victory, because Israeli victory is now far away from being reached by the war inside the region.
However, Israeli social media platforms reacted to the Iranian threat against the Israeli entity, and here are some of the comments.
GM. Iran says it will attack Israel, so why aren't we preparing for that? According to their threats, this Iranian attack is supposed to happen soon, so don't underestimate Iranian threats and be ready. Adi Kir. The government waged a war with Iran, which led to widespread destruction of buildings in Israel without being able to set up a clear reconstruction plan. This is clear proof of the poor management by this government. Avi Numuberg. In the next round of war with Iran, it would be good if we didn't give the Iranians the coordinates of the sites and buildings they destroyed.
Well, we move on from these comments to the complex negotiations currently underway regarding a ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip, still ongoing, and what the occupation wants, keeping its forces in the Murak axis to separate Rafah from Khan Yunis and the rest of the Strip, will not be achieved, according to a former officer in the occupation army.
סמוטריץ' לתכלית הכל, התפקיד שלו הולך וקטן, זאת אומרת, הלחץ האמריקאי הוא גדול, ושם זה יקבע, לא סמוטריץ' יקבע את זה. עכשיו, למה כולם מודאגים באמת, ולמה ישראל מתעקשת ובצדק, כי היא מבינה שהפסקת האש הזאת היא כנראה גם סיום המלחמה, ולכן על איזה קווים אנחנו נשארים, זה לא כך פשוט. עכשיו, האזור ההומניטרי לא יקרה, לא ייתנו להכניס 700-800 עזתים, אלה דיבורים בעלמא, זה כמו הפינוי, הגירוש מרצון, הדבר הזה לא יקרה. הקרב הוא עכשיו כמה נתח מרצועת עזה אנחנו ניקח לעצמנו ונשאר שם בעיקר בפרימטר, 2-3 קילומטר, זה מה שחשוב, ולכן סמוטריץ' יכול להגיד ככה וככה, העניין הזה גמור, המלחמה הזאת היא לקראת סיום, הפסקת האש, סיום המלחמה.
Do you agree that the war on Gaza is certainly going to stop?
No, I don't, because the plans of the Israelis that they want to redraw the Middle East, Gaza is a great obstacle in front of these plans. And what's happening also in Syria is connected to that, and the fighting among the Syrians with the new Syrian, let's say, government, and the Trump threatening Lebanon also with no reasons whatsoever. So that proves that he is, abide by the rules of the Israelis, and he is complying to their rules, and he is now trying to let's say to interest the Israelis' interest in the region. So that's why the Israelis' plan now has a great push and support from from the Western countries, especially the Americans and the British.
Okay, but what happened to the talks about Trump pushing Netanyahu to stop this war on Gaza? And another thing is that, don't you think that what you're highlighting is an obstacle in face of applying the Abraham Accords, with which Trump obviously seems obsessed about it?
Well, it seems that he is, complying to the, let's say they are threatening him, and we are hearing lots about the Epstein list. And it seems that Trump is so much afraid of, he is involved, but revealing all the documents, especially with the 152 names on the list, and that was admitted by American, let's say, Supreme Court. It seems that they are hiding this list because that could do a total destruction to the political officials in the United States. So, we all know, we have seen photos and we have read about it. And, Elon Musk revealed the great information about that, and also videos and some other documents. That's direct involvement of Trump in this scandal.
So how is this affecting the entire thing?
Because they are using this matter or these issues to blackmail Trump totally, and that's why we are seeing him that he is trembling with his positions and and contradicting himself day after day.
Okay, now the war on the Gaza Strip is a purely political war. And it continues to serve Smotrich's vision of controlling the Rafah access and establishing what is called the humanitarian city in Rafah.
אז אני אצטט קצין בכיר שאמר השבוע, זה כבר מזמן לא אירוע צבאי. זה מזמן לא אירוע צבאי, מפילים על הצבא אירוע לשנים. יש כאן מגמה שתוביל אותנו לשליטה על אוכלוסיית אויב עוינת, והמגמה הזאת משרתת את חזון שימור הממשלה הזו, ואת החזון של סמוטריץ', חזון הטרנספר, קודם לסלק מעזה, אחר כך מהגדה, אחר כך גם ערביי ישראל, מה שנקרא תוכנית ההכרעה. הבעיה היא שזה מכריע את מדינת ישראל, את הצבא, את הכלכלה, את החברה ואת יחסי החוץ. עלה השבוע ביטוי חדש שנקרא עיר הומניטרית. אני אתרגם את זה בתרגום הכי מעודן. זה מחנה הפליטים הגדול ביותר שהולך להיות במרחב, שבנוי על חורבות מחוז רפיח. אני אומר בסוגריים, אנחנו מתנהגים שם כאילו אנחנו לא אמורים להישאר בשכונה הזאת לדורי דורות. החיילים בעיקר, הם עושים שם עבודה התקפית, אבל בעיקר מגינים על עצמם ומגינים על נקודות החלוקה. ואז הגיע פה ביטוי חדש, הגליה מרצון. תראה, אני לא מכיר מדינה אחת שתסכים לקלוט 2.2 מיליון פלסטינים. עכשיו, פה מרמים את הציבור שלב אחרי שלב. אני מזכיר לך, בשלב מסוים אמרו, נצרים, קודש הקודשים, נצרים כבר בכלל אאוט. אחר כך ציר פילדלפי, שהומצא בין השאר כדי לטרפד עסקאות חטופים וסיום המלחמה, הוא היום כבר, איך אני אומר, וינטג' או רטרו, והיום יש את ציר מורג. דני, מהפסקת האש, עד היום 41 חיילים הרוגים, ומספר כמעט כפול מזה של פצועים. רק בבית חנון השבוע, 5 הרוגים ו14 פצועים, רובם קשה, ואז אתה רואה את השר סמוטריץ' מפזז עם זמר חסידי, ושרי וחברי כנסת של הליכוד חוגגים באיזה חגיגה משפחתית של בנשר, של איזה עסקן עם עבר פלילי. אני אומר לך לסיום, דני, שאלת השאלות במלחמה הזו, שהיא המלחמה הפוליטית ביותר שהייתה בישראל, על מה אנחנו נהרגים לכל הרוחות.
So the war on Gaza is a political war serving Smotrich, according to the commentator, the Israeli commentator. Do you think that Smotrich is the one controlling the war today? Because a lot of American media is actually speaking about this deeply.
No, I don't agree with this because
but whatever they say is happening.
The whole Zionist opinion, let's say inside Israel, about 75 to 80% still support the war, ongoing war with Gaza. And the plan or redrawing the map of the Middle East is not the Smotrich plan. It's a very old plan, was drawn by Shimon, former, late Shimon Peres.
Yes.
So this is all about, this is all media talk.
But unlike what you're highlighting, the latest new Israeli poll, and now we will watch the report, highlighted that most of them do not want this war to continue, Mr. Ridwan.
Well, it's due to the resistance, let's say, stand up inside Gaza, and the high casualties was, occurred by the fighters inside Gaza. As he said, this in 1 month since they have, announced a probable ceasefire,
okay.
They lost about 40 to 50 soldiers dead and triple the number injured. So it seems that, and they have announced that Hamas succeeded in rebuilding its forces inside Gaza.
Okay.
So that means that Hamas...
Okay, so then what does Netanyahu want, in your opinion? Do you think that Netanyahu is going along with the vision of Smotrich and Ben-Gvir to control the Murak axis, to establish also a large detention camp, especially for Palestinian displaced in Rafah? What does he want?
It's the plan of the Israelis. First of all, that Netanyahu is dreaming to become the new King David of Israel. He is trying to enter history from the white door. So he is a dreamer. He is an extreme Zionist, rightist. He believes in evacuating Gaza from all the Palestinians whatsoever. So he doesn't want any Palestinian to be in Gaza in the future in order to create the new great Israel.
Okay, however, ending the war on the Gaza Strip has become the demand, the majority of Zionists, in contrast to the political officials who want the war to continue. This was revealed by a new Israeli poll. Let's watch.
אנחנו אולפן שישי ושלא כהרגלנו רוצים לפתוח בנתון יוצא דופן מסקר אולפן שישי, נתון שנדמה עוד לא היה. כזה שמדגיש את הפער הבלתי נסבל בין הפוליטיקאים לישראלים. כזה שאמור היה וחייב היה לגרום להם לעצור לרגע ואולי לחשב מסלול מחדש. בסיוע מנו גבע המכון מדגם, שאלנו את הציבור את השאלה המרכזית שעומדת כרגע על סדר היום. האם אתם בעד או נגד עסקת חטופים? ואיזו עסקה? 74% תומכים בשחרור כל החטופים והחללים בפעימה אחת. עכשיו, הכל, תמורת הפסקת המלחמה בעזה. 3 מכל 4 ישראלים. אחרי כל מה ששמענו ושומעים מהפוליטיקאים והשליחים שלהם שאומרים שאי אפשר ולא עכשיו ועוד מעט, אחרי כל אלו, רוב עצום חוצה מפלגות ודעות תומך בסוף האירוע הזה של המלחמה הארוכה בתולדות ישראל.
Well, could this be an additional factor that would make Netanyahu proceed in a ceasefire agreement? In your opinion, this new poll, 74% wants the captives to be back. 3 out of 4 Israelis do not want this war. Do you think this will actually place more pressure on Netanyahu? Or Netanyahu has other political plans, and as the previous report highlighted, it's a political war run by Smotrich and Ben-Gvir.
It's a matter of time, and that time is not so long. It's a short time before that Hamas declares victory in Gaza, and Netanyahu will be pushed to admit his defeat in Gaza. So that will be the end of his government present in the parliament, in the House, and that will change the whole plan of the Israelis and the Americans.
So you're saying that it's all in the hands of the resistance. The resilience of the resistance is what will change the political spectrum. It's not about Qatar being the mediator. It's not about Netanyahu has his own plans. It's not about Trump being pushed or pressured to accept Netanyahu's vision of staying in this war for political reasons. It's all in the hands of the Hamas, all the hands of the Palestinian resistance.
It's not only in the Palestinians, because we are talking about Lebanon, Yemen, Iran, and other resistance groups. As long as we don't raise the white flag, surrender to the Americans, to the Israelis, at the end, this prolonged war will come to an end, and we can announce victory and the defeat and breaking of this, devil plans being drawn by the Zionist government inside the United States and in Israel also.
But why, in your opinion? Because this is the only language that the Zionists understand?
Of course, they don't understand any other language, because if they could or they can understand, they could admit, and I've heard, by the way, I've heard Ehud Olmert on the talk shows admitting and announcing that Israel is committing war crimes inside West Bank and in Gaza. And that was yesterday, and he is calling to stop this kind, because he is not so keen on the Palestinians' life, but that is brought total destructions to the reputations and to the image of the Israel and United States in the world. So the Western world, the public opinion in the Western world, it's against or opposite the government's position.
Moving on to the ongoing Israeli assaults on Lebanon and the widespread violations of the ceasefire agreement. It seems the occupation army will continue these attacks until Hezbollah is disarmed, according to a commentator in Hebrew media.
בקמפיין שלם כנגד חיזבאללה בשבועיים שלושה האחרונים. צה"ל הגביר את הרגל על הגז באופן משמעותי. שם דגש גם על כוחות רדואן. אני יכול לתת לך נתון די מדהים שמאז הפסקת האש אנחנו כבר עם 230 פעילי חיזבאללה שסוכלו מאז הפסקת האש. 230 פעילים בדרגות שונות בכל רחבי לבנון. לפי גורם בכיר במטכ"ל, חיזבאללה נמצא היום בשפל הכי חמור שלו מאז הקמתו. צה"ל לא מתכוון פה למצמץ בעניין הפירוק של חיזבאללה. הוא מדבר על פירוק מלא. הוא אומר, אתם רוצים שאנחנו ניסוג לגדר ונפרק את 5 המוצבים ולא נתקוף, זה פירוק מלא. אם יהיה פירוק חלקי, צה"ל לא מקבל את זה. אני חוזר, צה"ל לא מקבל את זה, וימשיך לתקוף. אני רק אזכיר שרדואן, ערב המלחמה, היה עם 1,100 לוחמים על הגדר. על הגדר. היום כבר לא פה.
Well, do you think the Israeli occupation is capable of achieving its goal of disarming Hezbollah?
No one will be able to reach that goal, because Hezbollah is not an organization. Hezbollah is an ideology, and it's an doctrine of resistance. It's not only among the Shiite. More than 50 or 60% of the Lebanese people supports the resistance ideology. and Lebanese people think like that will be also joining Hezbollah fighting in the future, and they will be fighting side by side with Hezbollah from different sects, different religions.
Yes.
Let's not fall into that trap. What the Israelis are trying, let's say, to expose that Hezbollah represent the Shiite, and he is the only resistance groups in Lebanon. This is totally wrong. Lebanon has a different situation and different position in this fighting.
So these are another objectives, the high objectives that Netanyahu is placing, and they are unachievable.
Of course,
Yes.
So far it seems so.
Okay, Mr. Ridwan Rizk, our time is up, political analyst. Thank you very much for joining us in this episode. Of course, I know that you have more to say about these topics.
Thank you.
Dear viewers, thank you for watching.
Thanks a lot.